The air stings with smoke. Wildfires rage across continents, leaving behind a trail of ash and devastation. Glaciers melt at an alarming rate, their ancient ice flowing into rising seas. This is not a scene from a dystopian novel. This is our reality, a world on fire. The consequences of our inaction are no longer theoretical. They are upon us, stark and undeniable. The time for complacency has long passed. We stand at a precipice, staring into the abyss of climate catastrophe. The question is, will we act before it's too late? From the scorching heat waves in Europe to the catastrophic floods in Asia, the fingerprints of climate change are evident. These are not isolated incidents. They are interconnected symptoms of a planet in distress. Each catastrophic event serves as a stark reminder of our interconnectedness and the fragility of the systems that sustain us. The frequency and intensity of these disasters will only escalate if we fail to act. We are living in a world increasingly defined by climate chaos, where extreme weather events become the new normal. The future we once considered distant is now our present reality. The injustice of climate change is that those who have contributed the least to the problem are often the ones who suffer the most. Developing nations with fewer resources and fragile infrastructures bear the brunt of climate impacts. Their livelihoods are destroyed, their homes lost, their futures uncertain. Meanwhile, the wealthy nations, the largest emitters of greenhouse gases, are better equipped to shield themselves from the immediate consequences. This glaring disparity highlights the deep inequalities at the heart of the climate crisis. It's a crisis fueled by overconsumption and driven by a system that prioritizes profit over people and planet. Yet, we are all bound to this planet, our fates intertwined. What affects one corner of the world will inevitably reverberate across the globe. The interconnectedness of our ecosystems means that there are no borders when it comes to climate change. Rising sea levels threaten coastal communities worldwide. Extreme weather disrupts global supply chains. Mass displacement and climate migration will become inevitable realities. The consequences of inaction are not confined to national borders. They are global in scale and impact. Despite the grim reality, we must not succumb to despair. The power to change course still lies within our grasp. We, the people, have the power to demand action from our leaders, to hold corporations accountable, and to shift the narrative. Our collective voice is our most potent weapon in this fight for our future. We must raise our voices in unison, demanding a just and equitable transition to a sustainable future. We must demand that our leaders enact bold and ambitious climate policies. No more empty promises, no more delays. We need concrete action grounded in science and driven by a commitment to justice. Hold corporations accountable for their role in fueling the climate crisis. Demand transparency, push for sustainable practices, and support businesses that prioritize people and the planet. This is not about choosing between profits and the planet. It is about recognizing that our long-term prosperity depends on a healthy, thriving planet. Imagine a world powered by renewable energy where cities are designed for people, not cars. Picture sustainable agriculture systems that regenerate the land and provide healthy food for all. Envision communities resilient to climate impacts, living in harmony with nature. This is the future we must fight for, a future where sustainability and justice are not aspirations but lived realities. The irony is that we have the knowledge, the technology, and the resources to create this future. We have the capacity to provide for every human on this planet, to ensure that everyone has access to clean water, nutritious food, and a safe place to call home. Yet we continue to prioritize short-term profits over long-term sustainability, greed over the common good. The tragedy is not the lack of resources, but the lack of political will and the entrenched systems that perpetuate inequality and environmental destruction. The clock is ticking. We are running out of time. The choices we make today will determine the fate of generations to come. This is not a burden to bear, but a call to action. Let us meet this challenge with courage, with determination, with the unwavering belief that another world is possible. Let us embrace the principles of permaculture, creating regenerative systems that work in harmony with nature. Let us utilize the tools at our disposal: renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, green infrastructure. Let us build a movement for climate justice, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of all life on this planet. We are not fighting for a cause, we are fighting for our survival. We are fighting for a future worth living in. The time for action is now. Let us rise to the challenge.